Salve galera, vamos prosseguindo com a série de Starfield. Bom, estou em Nova Atlântida, galera, e vamos agora prosseguir aqui com a missão da União das Colônias. Fale com Vai Evictis. O que descobrimos em Londinium sugere que o ataque de terror morfo em Nova Atlântida pode ter sido intencional. Nossa única pista, no entanto, é Vai Evictis. Preciso falar com ele para descobrir o que ele sabe. Vamos lá então. Vamos ver o que vai dar isso aqui. Vamos para o distrito do tanque. Cara, essas telas de carregamento de Starfield é de matar o negócio. Aqui acho que aquela parte bugada, ó, fica mostrando lá em cima. Aí o cara sai aqui, ó. E aí volta e marca aqui embaixo. O porquê disso eu não sei, né? Vamos para a subseção 7. Onde que vai Evictis está presa. Não vejo a hora de sair de Nova Atlântida porque o jogo trava demais aqui pra mim no meu PC. Mas não adianta, uma hora ou outra vamos ter que voltar pra Nova Atlântida. Aqui.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinium of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for? How could you... Isn't this interesting? You know you've proven far more clever than I had anticipated. You want to hear the words then?
Usei uma habilidade minha de diplomata e acabei com um joguinho dele.
New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I. Figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinium. Learning to synthesize it. Use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing. Hardly. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinium spaceport. Fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential. Easy to say now, but at the time, I didn't know I wasn't going to allow another dangerous variable to be added to an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included, and what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter. She becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run.
Ah, tá explicado agora.
There are no heroes without a villain. I simply arranged the opportunity for us to overcome one and become the other, and we all benefited. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere, with only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home.
Lembra daquela missão que a gente fez, que ele falou pra gente acabar com o antigo sócio dele aqui em Nova Atlântida, que tava inclusive lotado daquela árvore ali que faz virar aqueles inimigos virar terror morfo, né? Foi dali que veio os terror morfo que atacaram Nova Atlântida, né?
You're being honored only because I arranged the situations where it could happen. Be grateful. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the cabinet, leaving out my own involvement.
Tô vendo que a gente vai ter que ter uma escolha importante aqui na... Se a gente quer salvar ele ou não. O lado ruim é que ele matou o inocente pra proteger o segredo, né, da planta Lázaro e dos terror morfo. E o lado bom é que se o cara ajudar ele, ele vai ajudar a caçar os outros criminosos, né, que dá o C. De caçar criminosos e outras ameaças à União das Colônias.
Track them down and keep them from doing harm to the impossible, though. If the cabinet learns I'm the one responsible for the attacks. And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions.
Aqui a gente tem a escolha se a gente vai apoiar ele ou contar ao gabinete. Vamos apoiar ele.
Then I won't keep you. You've got important work, after all. Here's to a bright future.
Ok, fale com Adrian e Percival. Acho que aqui eu vou usar uma viagem rápida. Depois do final da parte passada eu fui na minha base, né? Descarreguei alguns itens. Ainda tem algumas coisas pra vender, mas já tô com 100 quilos a menos aqui, né? cabelo do meu personagem fica todo bugado, cara, com o gráfico do jeito que tá, ó. Ficou bem estranho. Não adianta, cara, o meu PC, ele... A placa de vídeo não dá conta de rodar Starfield em gráfico alto. Eu acho que o processador também não, mas eu acho que a placa de vídeo é o que mais pesa em não rodar ele bem. Onde é que é? Aqui.
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the acyles are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against
termossugas, o nome daqueles vermes pequenos, né? Os termossugas, quando chegam perto da planta Lázaro, ela os transforma em terror morfo.
I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant?
Ah, aqui eu vou mentir aqui, velho.
Orlays? Reginald Orlays? He did this? I didn't think he was still alive. You're sure it was him?
That's some impressive work. So then give us the rundown. Where's Orlays now? Were you able to bring him in?
Orliz é aquele cara que, quando a gente encontrou o Vai Victis pela primeira vez, né, que ele nos mandou a gente eliminá-lo, né. Aqui, inclusive, em Nova Atlântida, onde estava cheio daquela planta Lázaro lá. Eu acho que é isso, se não tô enganado. Faz mais de um mês que eu gravei aquela parte.
Well, there's nothing we can do at this point. Any idea why he might have done it? Or what he was doing with the plant?
Ah, eu vou botar isso aqui.
I can't imagine the amount of work it took to deploy the Lazarus plant off-world. Strange to go to all that trouble and not state your reasons.
Well, the man knew how to hold a grudge. I wouldn't be shocked if this was him getting back at the use.
Well, at least he won't be able to hurt anybody else now. Might be the best we could ask for, given... So I guess there's nothing else to do but get this all in front of the cabinet. Unless there were other things we needed. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision. They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
A gente vai tentar descobrir um jeito agora de eliminar essas termossugas, né, dos mundos. Pra evitar multiplicação de terror morfos. O método mais eficiente é o micróbio, né, que eles querem desenvolver, que é o método mais rápido.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math, and a 1 in a million chance of a mutation. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let... And here we go.
Vou falar com o gabinete agora. Aqui é a cúpula, né, mano?
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
My God.
An attack? Using terramorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlais commit these?
Aqui, ó. Aqui, se a gente botar essa opção aqui, ó, a gente vai entregar o vai evictis lá, mas eu vou dar uma chance pra ele. Vamos ver que rumo que vai tomar isso aqui. Se o cara estiver falando a verdade, o vai evictis é a melhor opção, né? Mas se ele me enganar, eu vou acabar com ele.
Body was found floating around Etheria. Report mentioned you were sent to try and bring him in, Captain. I guess that didn't go according to plan.
Ah, yes. I was told about your mission and who ordered it. Did you two suspect at the time Orlais? Well, it appears you were ahead of the curve. This report contains definitive evidence Orlais triggered the attacks via this Lazarus plant. The captain and Major Sinan.
Simply harrowing.
Indeed. Though it would have been preferable for him to have finally faced the UC's justice. It seems both of you are to be commended for ensuring he was dealt with before he could strike again. You have our thanks. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches. The three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the Cabinet to ensure that. As such, the Cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its truth.
A sound decision, Madam President.
We're already discussing the elimination of one species, Captain. Explain to me why you wish to eliminate another.
Destruir ela e pedir ajuda à Confederação Freestar provará que o C não tem más intenções.
That is an idea with some merit to it. Decrease the likelihood of anything like this occurring again, and further relations between our two factions.
Bom que fortalece a parceria da OC com a facção Freestar, né?
Very well. We'll include the collective in the removal process. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human world. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Asilies are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes.
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet
Tem duas opções, né?
I see.
De extinção para essas termosugas. Empregar os Asilies é a opção mais segura, esse é o meu voto. Os terramorfos já causaram dano bastante e eles devem ser eliminados rapidamente com micróbio. Acho que esse aqui, ó.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled.
Não optei por usar o micróbio, né?
Today marks day one for the United
Quando veio, isso aí ia virar uma epidemia.
making you three the founding members.
Claro que o jogo nem ia permitir, mas é meu pensamento.
As befits such a group, the cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you
Vou
joking?
ser promovido à primeira classe.
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Contanto que me paguem.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sanan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your
Não sei se acho que vai terminar aqui as missões pra facção.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to
Agora vai habilitar aquelas missões infinitas, ó, que o cara vai fazendo, ó, pra fazer experiência e dinheiro.
Assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest. This meeting is adjourned.
Aí. Ó, deu até uma conquista aqui no Game Pass, ó. Legado Forjado. Né, provavelmente... essa aqui foi a última missão da facção, então, da União das Colônias, né? Da facção que terminamos aqui na série. Foi aqui na... Da Rouge Industries, né? De Neon. Que inclusive teve bem mais missões, né? E agora finalizou... as missões da União das Colônias.
Those officers we lost at the spaceport get justice.
Bom, acho que é isso, galera. Vou encerrando aqui mais uma gameplay da série de Starfield. Aqui até já foi em atividades aqui pra mim falar com o Havok sobre unir forças, ó. Mas eu acho que eu vou deixar isso aqui pra mais adiante. Eu tô a fim de ir lá pra cidade de Marte, né, pra tentar destravar algumas missões lá. E é isso, na próxima parte a gente prossegue com a série de Starfield. Até mais.